right, so we're here at Lockbusters in Orlando, Florida, with Ron, who is one of our actors in our Kremlock Manor video. So, Ron, this was your first time working with Andy, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, and for audiences that don't know about your previous theme park experience, can you kind of go into that a little bit?
Well, I'm originally from Southern California, grew up in West Los Angeles, and I was at Disneyland the day the park opened in 1955. And decided quite young that I wanted to spend my life performing in theme parks. I love the one-on-one with the guests. I've always been interested in performing in magic and puppetry, and this is a place where I could do it and the audience would be in the act with me. I consider myself, I do a two-man act, but the other person doesn't know their lines. And I try to draw them into the story I'm telling. So over 40 years, I worked for Disney and Universal and Six Flags and themed dinner shows. I did 30 years out in my first 30 years were out in California, and then I moved here. I did 30 years in Central Florida. I opened Epcot Center as the Dream Finder, and I was on the opening crew of the Monsters Laugh floor and in charge of the celebrity lookalikes at Universal. And it's just been a dream for me come true.
And so you were at Disneyland on opening day. What was that like?
I was 2.5 years old,
okay.
So we had lunch in this saloon, and I was all focused on my lunch, and I wasn't paying any attention to the show that was going on the stage. But 25 years later to the day, I was in the show that was going on the stage, and that was my dream role, was to get in that show.
Has there been a favorite role that you've played, or is that kind of a hard question?
It's a hard question because I've done such a wide variety of things. The Golden Horseshoe Review at Disneyland was my dream role from 1970, from the time I was 18. But then I got the Dream Finder, which was I was the Mickey Mouse of Epcot Center, and being in charge of the celebrity lookalikes at Universal and working with a very, very talented crew there. That was amazing, and all the themed restaurants became my favorite kind of performing. So yeah, it's too tough to tell. I also wrote a book called From Dreamer to Dream Finder that's available on Amazon and Goodreads and all over the place. And I'm in a movie that's just been released. It's on YouTube. It's called The Further Adventures of Walt's Frozen Head. I play Walt's frozen head.
So with all of your time with Disney and all the roles that you performed, did you ever get a chance to meet Mr. Walt Disney himself?
I saw the top of his head.
Okay.
Yes, we were at the park, and this would have been about 65. I was with my family. Of course, I broke off from the family the second I got to the park. I went up on the top floor of the omnibus, and I looked back, and my sister is chasing the omnibus going, Ronnie, look! And I look over and there's this mob of people. So somewhere in the middle of the mob there was Walt Disney. I did kiss the hand of his daughter.
Oh.
Yes, Diane Disney. I was at the Disney Museum in San Francisco, and I got to meet her and her husband Ron Miller, yes, a very sweet lady.
So do you have any advice for actors, performers that want to get into the industry, specifically theme park performance?
Follow your bliss. Always take the job that will take you toward where you want to go. If you want to get the really good jobs at Disney, here's my secret. If you want to really get the good jobs at Universal or Disney, you get into the company, you network, you look around, you get to understand how the company works, then you get the heck out of the company, go somewhere else, and do what it is you dream of doing for the company. You know, they don't train dream finders, they hire dream finders.
Got it.
Yeah.
So you have to become a dream finder somewhere else.
Exactly.
And then they'll hire you.
Exactly.
I love that. I actually do have one more question before we wrap up. So Disneyland or Disney World?
Or Disneyland.
Disneyland, okay.
Disneyland was designed by a genius for people, and Walt Disney World was designed by a committee for a mob.
I actually just went to Disneyland for the first time ever last year, and I wholeheartedly agree. I grew up in Central Florida, but I think my heart is now in Disneyland. But thank you so much, and thank you so much for being a part of andyoufilms Kremlock Manor, and we really hope to work with you again. You've been wonderful. And thank you guys so much for watching. This is the News and You Spotlight. Thank you guys.